and no man can do. I will lift him higher, higher, yeah, higher. I will lift him higher. My God can do and no man can do. I will lift him higher, higher, yeah, higher. I will lift him higher. My God can do and no man can do. You can do what no man can do. And what you say is just a fact. No other God, no other God besides you, Jesus. Your word is so strong that it won't set my friend. Hey, oh God, you are faithful God. You are worthy of my praise. You would do, you would do, you would do, you would do, you would do. You would do. What am I do? I will lift him higher, higher, yeah, higher. I will lift him higher. My God can do what no man can do. I will lift him higher, higher, yeah, higher. I will lift him higher. Do what no man can do. Nothing else can take your place. No one else can take your place. What you say you will do, that is what you will do. No one can change your place. No one can change your power. From age to age, you're still the same. From day to day, you are still the same. From Monday to Sunday, you remain the same. Oh God, you will do wonderful. My God can heal any sickness. My God can heal anybody.
All right. What another evening here this evening. We want to welcome all of our viewers and listeners across the globe. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Something is playing in the background here. Just hold on here. Okay, we're going to come to this here. We want to apologize. It was an emotional interview this evening on our sister network, and we're going to try to capture some of that and get your take as usual. I'm Alfonso Zay and so to the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers. Alice Bamensha is in the house, of course, and Mike Keat and Amandut Stewart. Welcome to Richard, and yeah, our man Siliki Kamara is entering. Muman Harris, good evening, good morning, depending where you are. Our God can do anything. This is by the famous Liberian gospel artist C Praise. It's based in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but you will be holding a big, huge concert in Liberia. Almost 5,000 or million churches in the country, Christians, but still, wickedness is at the highest peak.
Nothing else can take your place. No one else can take your place.
No one can take your place.
That is what you will do. No one can change your place. No one can change your power.
Just hit the share button. If you are just coming to watching closely at work, okay, my camera make more money. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Exactly, Jimmy.
You remain the same. Oh God, you will do wonderful things. My God can heal any sickness. My God can heal anybody. Yeah. My God can do any miracle. Yeah. My God can do what no man can do. Ooh, I will lift him higher, higher.
One now we're living higher, despite the diversities, the challenges, and things that we are facing in our own personal life, not to mention to national society, government, the world all over. It seems to be the reality of what the scripture talks about. The world is completely in a turmoil. This is just is It's unbelievable. See what is going on in Iran, Ukraine, beg your pardon. See what is going on. And you look in our own backyard, things that are happening across the globe. Should this woman just come and just judge her who can run, who can run, stay? The wickedness is just it has just taken over the length and breadth of the entire world. Not a single day. Life is so precious. In his own divine interventions, he created mankind. For whatever reason, others are forcibly. And when you tell them to come die, they don't want to die. They will never repent, they will never change, they will be who they are. But they are taking others there for whatever reason. There was an emotional conversation this afternoon on a sister network, Spawn TV. We hope to capture that. A guy reportedly, or allegedly, I'm not sure whether he's been convicted. He killed his girlfriend because of cheating. So it has become like a daily routine. People, what is responsible? What is going on? What are we supposed to do and we are not doing? It's like on the other versions of Sodom and Gomorrah land. People find pleasure to just destroying people's life for whatever reason. Well, I want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your evening. If this is your first time, we wholeheartedly welcome you. This is Liberia Public Radio, acronym name LPR. We tried to model the start of the National Public Radio, NPR, is my famous public news network. White government does not censor NPR or ordinary Americans, whether to critical voice against the government, you are allowed to make your free will, so to speak. Do we have a public network in our own backyard? And so we try to do that. We do not sanction voices, what we call for civility, honest conversations. You have the right, absolute right to disagree with my talking point. This rebuke me, call me, whatever you want to call me, seditions, liberty partisans, unity party, Weapon Johnson party, needs it. There's so plenty we can't even recall all on top of our head. You are at liberty to do so. You have the right to disagree with me. You have the right to challenge what I'm going to be saying. We have to empower people. The media is a very crucial component in society building. The media can build, it can destroy. And so sometimes my stomach boils and I'm kind of upset because the manner and the context in which today's conversation is being carried out. It's been politically driven. The real news is not coming to the people. People are in desperation. You folks, welcome Lady T in the house from the Garden City of New Jersey. It's our prime time to followers and viewer. But the news nowadays, it has become what Hollywood is strictly entertainment now. There is a component of news entertainment. And I'm going to be preaching the soundbite here every day, every night, because we need to give this sound beat in the heads of people so that they will know and they will understand this is a serious business. Things we say here has the propensity to endanger other people's lives. And that's why people don't know. When it comes, they say things, they talk things. And let me say this. Media is not an institution that is there to fight or be against government. That's not the purpose of it. Anyone who does that, any media institution that does that, they just do not understand what they got themselves into, and it's just unfortunate. Go to the elements. the power and strength of the media. The media is there as an intermediary, is there to intercede for the citizens. It stands in the middle with their government to tell the citizen and bring their government to light. If the government does it wrong, you say it. Do not circumvent. If the government does it right, you say it. Don't add, don't subtract. Because the citizenry counts on us or count on the media to keep you informed, to know about your society, your neighborhood, your state, and about yourself. And that's why it is called the fourth estate. It must be independent. Information must be properly verified, not on circumstantial. It's not like going to court and base your argument on circumstantial evidence. That's not a media. That's what the media say. All day from morning to night, news breaking. No radio station, no manager, no editorial, news breaking. They create this sort of conspiracy. And what that does is knock heads together. Yes, and because we are selective where we want to go, where we want to hear. So there are other folks out there that, they are like a soothsayer. They read your mind and say, okay, can I use someone here as an example? This is what he wants to hear. This is what she wants to hear. So I will say that. Then you pivot in my direction. But for us here on LPR, this is not what we represent. This is not who we are. We say it not necessarily to suit your taste, but things that you need to know. I am Afonso Z, and so welcome to the show. Okay, good evening, good evening. The liberal progressive, the most liberal on this network, is here tonight after taking time off without excuse. Yeah, that's who they are. He board member, and so he thinks that he runs the administrative affairs of the Liberia Public Radio. Whether he take off, he gone. And he comes back anytime he wants to come back. Let me bring him. What is the justification of that? He is the Liberty Partisan USA. That's what he claims to be. But all the G's that are coming from Liberty Party inside Liberia, it doesn't pass by him. I'm considering whether I should bring him here or reject him here this evening. He was on a talking point during the course of last week, preaching the soundbite of the progressive. This liberal on purpose deny me asset. He said it, I took it for granted, and it comes to pass. I'm going to be having my show, Mr. Soul. I don't need you there. I don't want you. Why? No explanation, because he does not want to answer question. You, our fans, this is why when you guys writing comments, he's all panicking to see who says, who give him praise and who disagree with his opinion. He doesn't like you guys at all, y'all. But he's here. Can I get a thumbs up here from somebody to see whether I should bring him in? Okay, maybe Pa George will allow him. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, let me bring in the liberal progressive because he's panicking. He's thinking to what I'm not going to allow him. I'm not going to be like you. All right, I'm not going to be like you. I'm going to grant you to executive clemency. Let me bring in what would be his justification. Here he is. That's the most liberal on this network, Samson Blaku Bronto. But never mind, this guy, he's one of the good guy. He doesn't get mad. You can describe him, you can tell him whatever it is, but when you rather do good, man, he rescued me yesterday. Yeah, because I almost developed hypertension from this crazy society. They can pin people down. Okay, let's get a conversation. Deliberate. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. So. Good evening. First of all, I owe you no explanation when I'm going on a trip to do an investigation on behalf of the institution, number one. And secondly, the reason why I didn't bring you on my show is simply because your conservative idea does not match and will not blend in with the progressive ideas. So there was no reason for me to bring you on. Now, Mr. So, let me just say this here. You cannot bamboozle me to run out of this institution. I am, you and the people you're complaining to, you're haying my ma, my haying your ma. I'm cool. Nothing you will do to me. Nothing you will say or do that will move me. I say and stay with the truth. If the truth is heading south of your direction, so be it. I will be truthful. Now, here you are now. We haven't even started the show yet. You're claiming now to be the government should not be criticized by media institutions. This is the song that I've been singing. LPR, under your leadership, have already made that clear to everyone that watch this public institution. Well, it's not public, it's your institution, but this platform, it's not for government, it's not for opposition. We're here to say the truth. If the government is doing something that is good, whether the audience like it or not, I will say it. I'm not going to be bashful of it, and I owe nobody apologies for me to say what is truthful according to me. My truth might not be your truth, but I would say my truth, what I believe to be the truth. So, Mr. So, you and the central right, we even start here, he drinking water already. And I'm tonight, there's no kumba here. I wasn't here yesterday. Both of you were having party behind my back, saying all your conservative ideas. And I'm here tonight. As a liberal, I'm here to do the counterweight. And there's no way I'm going to sit here and let your conservative view try to override my liberal view. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So you can go out and get all of the conservatives, Liberians, conservatives to come and watch your show. I'm here to put Gary in their conservative saying. Let me put it this way.
Say so. Who says so?
I say so.
Wow. Folks, this is what we have to deal with every night when we are here. He he calculatively misinterpreted me. I didn't tell you this is a network for government. I said media institutions is not there to go a loggerhead to fight. It's not for, it's not against when we say what we're supposed to say. We're getting some little feedback there. Is that from you? Man from the far right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, okay, gentlemen, much better. Good evening. Today is what? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday, please. Tuesday.
Today,
Tuesday.
today's Tuesday. Okay.
The liberal, that's what we do. We look at things from a broad perspective, including the weekdays, the days of the week, the time of the day. We come up the month of the year. That's what we do. That's why the progressive was so good. And that's what the progressive is continuing and has in the past and
Do you got a
continue to
fan
help
on,
the
Brother George, or
Republic of Liberia.
getting?
Let me see.
So,
That's me.
yeah, let me get you up there. So, all I want you to just asking what is the date today. So that's what you want to get credit for again now.
Because you conservative, sometimes they've seen your view, your conservative view are so skewed to the point that you don't even know what a date is. And perhaps if you don't ask questions, you might be thinking today is Wednesday. And then you will bring a topic that is not supposed to be discussed because you're conservative. You don't even think of those kinds of little minute stuff. You come out and keep up with your conservative view, and we're not gonna put up with that. We're just tired of that kind of conservatism all over the place. Like you can call all your Liberian conservatives, but I'm here and I'm telling you right now that I'm here as a liberal to put sand in your conservative gari. I say so.
Mr. George, good evening. Welcome.
How you doing, Mr. So, and how you doing, Mr. To?
Thank
Okay.
you, Central Right. Thank you. Good night. Goodbye. Whatever.
This guy, I
Welcome.
never saw a divisive person than this guy here. Everybody.
Mr. So, I'm not here for kumbaya. I keep telling you guys from the start of the show, there is no kumbaya here. I'm here to be truthful. I'm here as a counterweight. You and Mr. George, if I'm not here on the show, you guys foot to foot, stepping over each other. There's no disagreement between you two. There's no disagreement. In any idea you bring up, oh yeah, Mr. So, I think you're on the right point. And let me just add on it. He's keep adding on. I'm not here to add nothing. I am here to tell you the difference. There's no addition from me.
Wait a minute.
This is.
Are you here tonight? You here for all the Mayflower?
No, I'm just giving it to you as a liberal.
You are what you are doing now. You're getting our viewers and audience very bold with your behavior.
Okay, that's fine. That's what you think. You see, that's what we do with liberal. We're not here. We don't tell you what to say. These are your views. You're entitled to it. Your description of my character. These are your views. You're entitled to it. But that does not make it true. But I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to bar you from doing.
Let's get a conversation.
Let's get it going.
Let's get it going because you're already on edge. Okay, to our many viewers, near and far, we say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you for sharing to your beautiful Wednesday morning evening with us. If this is the first time, we wholeheartedly welcome. We even start yesterday. Where you got? What
you got a phone number on your stuff.
Yeah, but that's why when you call in, wait and
listen to the host.
If I put it on now, what are you going to say?
Yeah, we go. He getting ready now to second the motion all night. What is this? A two-way party? So say one. I mean, so say one. So say all. I'm telling you, the man has the number up there, and the audience, when they see the number, they follow the routine. They
No. You hold on. When the host say, I am opening the line, or I'll be opening it in the next 5 minutes, then you can call the number. But the man has not even gone to the intro of the program. So when you call, what are you going to say?
It's going to be a long night. It's going to be difficult on my side tonight because these two people are already in sync with one another, and I can see that it's going to be a beautiful night tonight. Let's get it going, Mr. So.
This is what he's good at. Always try to seek public sentiment. And these people don't like your talking point. They don't like your saying. You say one today, the next day, the whole world comes down. So people are sick and tired. Okay, gentlemen, so let's have a conversation. Good evening to welcome. It's good to be back here. Mr. To, as well. I know you heavily base it. I attend to a lot of stuff, but this is a commitment. This is what we sign off to. And so to our viewers and listeners, thank you so much. Whatever we do here, when we do it here, believe me or not, nobody take it personal. As soon as I finish with him, when I design him good, the show finish, then he call, he succumb, and which is good. But we are all in it. Okay, gentlemen, this is a forum. As usual, we are here. Lot been unfolding, and there was another drama in town today. The issue of the late Princess Copper is not going away.
It should not.
It's not going away. I don't know how long it's going to end because we have seen in the past these things it starts and at the end of the day it goes where it is. Front page is reporting this evening. Right now it's like Alexander Cummings and the ANC accuses CDC government of politically delaying trial. calling the government, calling them out that this case is being politically motivated. That's the argument. I hope I will have the chance and opportunity for us to discuss that. But this was the scene of action today in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. So let's watch this courtesies of some of our sister network televisions or news organs in Liberia. Let's watch this and then we're going to have a discussion, gentlemen. Okay, that was the saying. Every blessed day, something is happening. Deliberate, by George. This is what we saw again early morning. Oh, Madam Oman, good morning. We're in Australia. Our man, Namwe, welcome in the house. Ballard, Louise Page, and I comments. Okay, we will try to acknowledge our good guys here, always here to us, Mr. Uncle Bent, Venetia, Collie, as well, Mr. Boat from inside Norway. We want to welcome all of you here. But let's get to the talking point here, and we will move on. This was a scene today in Liberia at the headquarters of the Liberian National Police. We want justice. We want justice. And we're going to also have the footage of what I consider to one of the emotional conversations of recent time. The murder of the late Odell Shermont, I believe, Cynthia was on the sister network Spoon this evening. At some point in time, I was trying to get my dinner and it just turned the way out because as a father, who also get a 16, 17-year-old daughter. That's something stuck my cold belly of what is happening. But let's have a conversation. Gentlemen, what is going on? How long can we have this conversation? Every other time we are having this conversation. So what is going on?
Let me just say today, this moment is a reminder. Today was April 12th, 42 years.
To welcome, buddy.
April 12th, 42 years.
April 12th.
Yes.
Wow.
Today, beginning 42 years, April 12th.
Unbelievable. Time fast spent though.
When Liberia took a 363-degree turn. Well,
you know what? You introduced something. We need to maybe dance around this April 12th. It didn't. It came to mind initially, but this guy came with making flour here this evening. They met from Totan, and that was on purpose to kind of disposition my thought. We need to dance around it. This whole April 12th, is it April 12th is what we experiencing today? Is that April 12th gave birth to it? Is that a good judgment?
I would not say it gave birth to it because April 12 was a revolution. And there's two things. The revolution, either good or bad. It turned out to be good or bad. But this kind of killing, after April 12 was seized, within a year too much again about ritualistic killing when the military government threatened people and say if anybody is caught, they're going to be punished. That is for a very while. If anybody in Liberia, that is sometime. But what is going on in Liberia, it is sad, it is sad. for as your fellow citizen die mysteriously, somebody else's child, somebody else's niece, somebody else's sister, somebody else's uncle, and people have to constantly get into the street to demand answer, to ask for solution. Why these things are happening? It is very troubling and mind-boggling. And I always say this. Someone talk, they say, y'all let to talk to them, but y'all let to go after the government. But I will tell people that it had never hit your door yet. So that's why some of you will sit there and say, oh, why do people always accusing the government? But when they hit your door, then of course you will know those other people had they've been feeling. And this is what happening. This girl was found dead in a yard. The first thing the government did was spokesperson, police say there was no fireplace. A responsible statement.
Was let's get it right here. Was that a plain statement made by Director Carter, or
he made it? He made it.
Well, what I'm asking, was that something? Was there any hook on there to say, well, from what we are saying? I just want to make sure what
he was asked.
I don't know why
before, he was asked.
Every time we talk to him,
then he said, "Yeah, but that is statement also when he was asked." Then he said, "That was a statement from the examiner." But you, as a criminal investigator, did you ask the examiner what led to them deriving at that decision? And if so, why did not explain? Why you came out directly and said, he didn't say the statement order, he didn't say, according to the medical examiner, he said, that's why there was no fireplace. And that when the outrage came about. And when he was asked, I think another day or so, and he said, it was a report that the examiner had given him. Even if the examiner had given you that, what was the basis? That they arrived at that decision. There had been no autopsy, nothing performed. So physical examination alone could not determine the death of that person. There has to be autopsy. And so it was irresponsible on his part even to read that statement in the first place.
Okay.
As a law enforcement officer. And let me just add, just yesterday, was it yesterday? Sir Luna went to the police station to demand answer about Sir Luna that was killed in Monrovia. So what is going on in this country that the government that we have cannot solve this problem?
Okay.
Why this cannot continue?
All right. Let me bring in Mr. The liberal progressive. Mr. Tor.
Yes.
You being an old rectangle, old school guy, you've been around for quite a long while. You're a jack of all trades, engineer, historians, and all of that. This is what one of our onliners is tweeting, Mr. Fred Dennis Namwe. April 12, 1980, the genocide of Liberia nightmare. Give her a little bit of run through here, if you will, or if it is not in your profile tonight, we can skip that here. But this whole April 12 business, and the far right brought that out. I believe there's a reason we'll get to the nut of the whole thing here. This April 12, was it good? Was it bad? There's a downside. Everything, there's a downside to it.
Give me a few minutes here.
That was Hitler. He was in Europe. I said that was Hitler. Hitler was in Europe. And this Hitler was...
That was the music, Sonny Kusu, over there in Nigeria, the late Sonny Kusu, during the April 12th jubilation.
Papa's land.
Yes, Papa Land. But this is the one he was asking the European.
Yeah, to be
We
rude.
help you to get rid of Hitler. Some of our uncles, father, grandfather died to get rid of Hitler. And now we have apartheid in South Africa, and you people talking about constructive engagement. And that was the music for some of us, the young legs of the progressive. Look, Mr. So, let me say this here before I go to the side story. April 12 was not a mistake. April 12 was not a mistake. April 12 was invited by the two-way party elite. In fact, as one Blamo Nelson put it, he said the trouble of today started with the founding of Liberia. The slaves that to return to Liberia decided to divide us from the very beginning. And this is what have happened. April 12th. I want to sit here. I regret the death. People that die during the mayhem. But revolution, that's what it is, a revolution. You have tyrants at your feet while you carry on with the victory sign in your hand. That's revolution, but in the process, many of your people that are with you will die. And we understand that. April 12, what April 12 have given us. And many of these young people that have come out and make these ridiculous statements, they have no clue whatsoever. April 12, if you can't take anything else out of it, has given you one man, one vote. Right now, if I go to Liberia and I say I want to be president, I will not get more than whatever vote they're going to come to me because I'm from a certain area. People from all over the world, all over the country, if I convince them enough, they will come to me. But they're not going to come to me and have their wives, their kids, and keep voting like we used to do with Tubman. That ain't happening anymore. One man, one vote. You put your name on that ballot, you expect one vote from Samson too. I can't come in as a voter and vote 4, 5, 6 times like they used to do. One man, one vote. Liberia will get there. We're going to suffer for some time. The croonings, the crooks, I don't call it BMs, will come through the process, will come and pretend to be leaders, and we will follow them. They will crook us. They will steal from us. But eventually, among many of these young Liberians that are steady, among many of these young Liberians that are capable of leading, once somebody will come out of that branch one day and put Liberia on the path. Like these young Liberians, these intellectual Liberians all over the world, they are not there because you think they're having a good time. No, somebody among them will put Liberia on the path. So right now we're going through a lot because we have people that will come in. Oh, I can lead. I'm a good leader. They come in and start all kinds of stuff. They fool us. That's fine. Our eyes will open little by little. Mr. So as far as April 12 is concerned, I'm happy April 12 happy. Because first of all, I don't have to throw people chima away anymore.
Hold on there. No,
Mr. You see, that's
we should not open the Pandora box for it.
No, but you cannot. When you were talking, Mr. So, you see, this is what you do. This is what you got. I'm prepared for both of you tonight. There's no way that
Mr.
This will be quiet. When you were talking, I didn't say anything, Mr. So. I'm talking.
You see that?
Wow.
So I know both of you are quite in sync with one another tonight. But I'm not here to have kumbaya moment with any of you. So, Mr. Central Right, please let me make my point. So I'm happy that today I can say to you, if anybody in Liberia want to throw Pubu Chima away because they want to, not because they have to. Not anymore. Liberia, April 12th have given us the beginning of one man, one vote. Now let me go to the sad story about what is happening. Mr. So, The issue here with this young girl death is this. I too am not happy the way it was handled from the beginning by the authorities. They did not take this thing, for me, I could be wrong, but for me, it seemed to me that they didn't take it serious. Because on these kinds of situations, you have the people who are involved in the actual investigation without diverging to the public what their investigation is about and which way it's leading and what have you. But you come out and you make these people are in line. The doctor, the investigator, the first person on whatever information they get. You put all of those things together and say, okay, you, the police, the spokesperson, go and say that. So if that spokesperson make one mistake, there's nobody to what they say, no, sir, let me just make a correction. Let me just make a correction. What the spokesperson said earlier. This is what really happened. Nobody. So he make that one mistake, what I consider to be a mistake. He make that, and we're holding the entire institution to that. Mr. So, it is very sad because of that statement. Because of that statement. Anything else that comes out of it, many Liberians will not believe them. They are unbelievable. These people, because let me go a little bit, let me be ridiculous a little bit. CDC always put their foot in your mouth. When they have something good going and they can't stay, they're just unable to be happy for 1 week. CDC and this government cannot be happy for 1 week. They will throw their foot in your mouth. Look at this other situation about the airport. You have Samuel 12 who has no clue on engineering. He's talking about apron. Apron. You know what apron is? Apron is something that when you put around your waist when you're cooking. Apron is why when you have a driveway or when you have a road, the area where it is undrivable, it is come towards the bush area. It's called apron. That's something. But what did he do? Oh, the apron on the highway. I mean, on the FE, they being paved. Does he know anything? No. But he believes he's so smart that he can come and make these kinds of ridiculous statements. The international community are watching, and you talk about apron. You didn't have apron will eat. You Samuel 12, you Minister of Finance. No light at the airport. And instead of you to say the president have put us together, and the president, you don't go into the kind of thing, making the kind of ridiculous statement. The president have put us together, and I believe if those of us that are involved will do what we can to make sure this situation is resolved immediately. That's how you build confidence. But all 5 of them in line, speaking like little babies, because they have no clue what is happening. They have no clue.
Okay.
They don't know road business. They don't know airport business.
All right.
How can you find that minister to come and head airport issue? Is he going? All you have to do is come out. People tell you this is how much it's going to cost, and let him investigate the finances. Mr. So CDC, I'm ready for you. I will be truthful when they do something good. I will say it, but watch for the election, Mr. So during the election, I got binder full of error by CDC and this government. And I will remind people about their blunders. May I say, $16 billion, does that ring bell to you? The liberal will be all over. Mr. Senator Wright, please take it away if you don't mind.
Okay, what I want us to do, we need to have a conversation. And this, like I said, it was an emotional interview conversation today. That's the, we just introduced the demonstration here. But courtesy of our sister network, Crew Spawned, they hosted the mother of Odell Shema and that of Manjatu, the mother of the deceased, recent one, Princess Cooper. And I want us to listen to this a little bit, and we'll come back to it to see what could or will be the political implications in the long run. This is Alfonso Z and Salt of the Liberia Public Radio.
What you do? What are you going to do better or not? What are the investigations have to wait? Mr. Cooper, let me leave my jet too small. Talk to me, Mr.
Okay, this is
Since
let
they're
me
not doing anything
hold on one
whatsoever,
second.
where's the family then?
Okay, hold on one second. Let me just
The family
pause
lawyer,
this
where's
here.
the
Let me bring hold on, folks, just bear with me. Let me see where Cynthia was speaking. I think that was a touching part.
By 7:30 p.m. That's how I told him, I said, I'm not going anywhere. Just to confirm he was already here. I came back there, my husband and my two adopted children with kids to find out from him. He said that he would not do the DNA testing. I said, you can't do that. I said, you can't do that. The girl she was raped. And the swab and all that we collected is still here. So let Guinea submit himself. Because he was the person that was in the compound that night. Let him submit himself to this testing. He said, but the government never told me to come and do DNA testing. I said, then why are you looking for? He said, the government said to do it. I said, no, and we trusted that. If Moses had not started lying to us, for us to start losing confidence in the government pathology, we wouldn't have sent for you. You have to do the autopsy and you have to do the DNA testing. He never did. When you are leaving, just call me, oh, Mr. Shimon, I'm leaving. And for your daughter, she fell down from Austin. And I was sending a report to you. I said, send it to Dr. What's about the DNA testing? He said, oh, the DNA testing, the government said I shouldn't do it. They would do it. I recommended a hospital that I said, go. I started crying, my blood started flowing out of me. Up to this day, the moment the doctor left, right, the police, the whole team from radio station to radio station, we closed for the Shimon case. They really killed me in this country. I'm living, but I'm dead. I'm living, I'm breathing every day. Every day I'm breathing, but I'm dead. I just can't imagine that. From one radio station to another radio station, we already closed for the Shimon case. How would that be? Why this case will not go to court? Even for the lady that lying in the mortuary, they refuse parties to say you will not pay for it, the government not pay for it because they're not responsible. My family should pay. I said that will not happen, Patrick Sulu. You kept my dog body in that mortuary for 3 months. The pathology here denied the DNA testing. Why were you saying the government will not pay? Okay, if you say the government will not pay, let it be, just let it off. I'm feeling suffocated in this your office. I want to get out. He left, he went in your office, that's when he said, okay, the government will pay. And for the dress code and taking care of the burial, the government will not do it. So I got to the registry, she said, no problem. We want you to be good, we raise our money. And I had to raise our money, I got all the receipts from Simosis. And we want to pay Simosis 1,000 plus for the dress code and the transportation of the body and other things. I got all the receipts because the government deliberately refused to do that. And students have to go from office to office, from ministry to ministry, begging for money. To ask what the president I just raised. The only thing Patrick could do for me was to give me a letter of clearance, go take your daughter body and bury her. What are you talking about? You really think I can really be normal? I can't. Whenever I see these things, I was so depressed, it didn't feel that I had to leave to go to fast, to my brother. My depression started, it was so huge, I almost went mad. I left from Morocco in neck and slipper. I didn't know it. I reached fire soon. The moment Princess issue came up, when my sister-in-law saw me, she said, what happened to you? I said, I don't know what happened to me. Those voices are started speaking to me again. I'm hearing a lot of voices, so I chose to come closer to you. But tell me how you can. I said, I don't know how I can. They have to keep me there for a day or two before I can.
Okay, folks, just bear with me. Okay, let's get a conversation going. The liberal. There's other part that I hope to play. Yes, I think, let me see here. And Mr. Somebody said, yeah, we will open the line soon. But that's a mother speaking about her daughter. The other lady on the side that is the most fresh one. We're talking about Princess's mother there. So I'm a little bit concerned because she said, so when they carry these bodies to these mortuary, that whatever the body is taken, is the government don't pay for that? Is that Did you guys hear what she said?
Mr. So again, I'm completely out of words because most of these people that are in Liberia, I consider them educated people. The most of them can read and write, so I'm not that confused about that one. They got people in the police department. You must have people who are trained to deal with the emotional aspect of these kinds of stuff. Patrick Suru, I don't believe he's trained to deal with someone who dies, mom, or what have you. He's an administrator. So if in those kinds of situations, perhaps you will only come to play if all of the resources that are supposed to be within the police department. You don't have to have millions of people to work for the police department for it to work. Why do you have all of these people in the police department that are working? And yet still, why would this lady even come out and say Patrick Suru stay? Patrick Suru should not have been involved at this stage. Patrick Suru should not have been the one to make a statement about government campaign. You can only buy the clothes for your body, woman. Patrick Suru should not make that kinds of comment. That should be another department that will be involved, because if you have the victim, if you have people dying, they have relatives. If the police is going to be involved, the police must have certain people within that department that know how to deal with these cases.
Maybe emotional crisis.
Exactly. That know how to be involved. Okay. If somebody die and you're going to come, the person they're grieving. This is not the time to throw a book or throw the law at anybody. The government saying it's not the time. You bring people in who are trained. And there are many Liberians in this country that work in this area, social workers. And they will be happy, even if they're not going home, but they will be happy to train our brothers and sisters back home, free of charge, Mr. So. Many young Liberians that are working here will be willing to go home and help to train our brothers and sisters in this area. But the CDC government, tonight, I'm sorry to say, the CDC government, for some reason, decided to do this, just employ a sedition or just employ the people. Let's give them job. Let's give them job for what? What are they doing? Just to get paid. Just so you will say you got people working. But these are the critical areas. These are the critical areas that need to be filled by critical technician, people who have the ability to do these kinds of stuff. And then when you do that, when these people come in with these kinds of training, they come and help this lady. This lady now becomes a voice that perhaps will help CDC if you want to be political about it. But look what she's saying here. Who among us here tonight, having listened to her, I would think the CDC government is doing a great job? Nobody.
Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at it. And to many of our viewers, this is not, we want our government to be in good shape. We want our government to do what is right. If you're a strong supporter of the GOL or sympathizer and you want to come out here, just send a comment here and I will bring you just in case you want to also defend the government position. But in the meantime, before I go to George, I want to go back to this here because let's see what happened again. Oh, let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, let's see.
This course. From the very onset, she was my strength, and she's still my strength. And I'm sitting here today, it is because of them that I'm still fighting. But they keep giving me strength. I could not fight anymore. Women, a very woman who does not have anything. How could I fight? Even that 2 international apologetic copy to this country. It was because of them. It was because of them. The champion cause.
It's so regretful to say that I don't know where our Liberia is now. I don't know. Where a child will be murdered,
All of the evidence are there. They are all vivid. And the government will turn blind eyes to it. And these days, murder cases does not go to court here. All of the murder cases stop right in the police station there. It doesn't go to court. It doesn't go to court. It will be right in the police station. You will not imagine with my daughter issue. That's why I moved to get out with 6 judges today. Because like the similar story that killed my daughter, just a phone call. Just a phone call. After the child had written her wives for a whole month. The last day they go through with the wives, according to them, they have to collect money to put it together and go out to release that stress. That was the last day. But she received that call by 11:15. Told her friends, I'm coming right back. She never came back. And they hit out debut for me till early in the morning by 5:30 a.m. They have to call my senior brother in Firestone before my senior brother called my husband at 5:30 a.m. for the hour that she was killed. When I got the news, I was so frustrated because that is my suffering. I can never forget the pain that I went through for my child. And no amount of anything can take this pain from my mind. People will say, yes, since your business is hard, she can't leave here. Yes, I agree. Let it happen to you. If you just go and leave about your 21-year-old daughter that was just brutally killed before you and no justice, let's see if it can happen to anybody. Let's see. I just want to see that mother. Because during this war, I went through the heat of the war. I bore my daughter in the war. And it wasn't easy for me. And then I cannot get over that pain. And see the way they kill her. It's so bad to forget that. The only way I could get at least a better closure quickly if the government had given me justice. But we were completely denied justice. The government denied us justice in every.
Let me see here. Let me see here.
They want to help me small. I couldn't stop bleeding. All the treatment, everything they did, no better. Because the tissue was too much for me. The child came from my heart. You know, the child came from my heart. If you're not born here, you know what it means. You got brother, you got sister, you got family, you got mother, you got father. If they kill them before your son like, and the government treat you like you are nothing, why would you do? All I would do was just DNA testing was denied. When the life pattern, the pattern, they said no. You are not representing medicine in this country. They deny it. That the resident trying to say the second pathology, the government said, who will pay for everybody, and reason will be betrayal. It was the time the president said, oh, I got a line, but they see quota here too. It was the only time I said for us, or when they say, oh, you're going to another pathology, they want another pathology, but we pay. For that pathology to come in the country, there was no negotiation between we. I got that the registry said, oh, but I'm going to tell you. When the mayor was coming, I didn't know. The government and MP when call me saying your family pathology will be arriving at the airport by 7:30 will give you a ride. Can you imagine that? Meanwhile, they were already here about 2 hours that registering that will call me and say, but he's already here, he's the profile. So I said, but the other people have to call me and say they won't get me to the airport by 7:30.
Cousin Photo and Video Production is a cousins team who provide photo and video coverage for various occasions. We are weekend freelancers who have been in the event service industry since 2006. We provide all digital services using digital SLR cameras, 3CCD, HDV, and 4K camcorders. Our style in photography is journalistic and straightforward. We document the event as it unfolds, capturing the most important moments of your life. We produce a video in which all the vows are clearly heard. And at the hotel and reception hall, we may interview all the bridal party, including some guests, each getting to say something personal to the bride and groom on their wedding video. We produce videos that blend the traditional with contemporary, remaining faithful to the classics while incorporating modern trends. We work unobtrusively, recording what comes naturally, to portray the true emotions of the moment.
I'm making the people them feel in my heat. Na na na, yeah yeah yeah. Na na na, yeah yeah yeah.
D12. Okay, Mr. Toll. There was a time the picture of the deceased was placed on the screen when she was talking this afternoon, and she broke down. They have to take her off. She never wanted to see her because it was something. Was it? And I saw all of the images today. We intend not to. That's not our job in the media to put to insert our sentiments into it. But we people are human beings. There are certain stories, certain cases, certain things, because you put that in your show. We are seeing on major cable wired journalists report they can break down based on what they are hearing. It was one of those instances today when I was watching. I wish I wasn't having any food around. When they displays that picture, the reaction of the woman, she pulled her hand to her forehead. She doesn't want to see that picture. This is not politics. It seems to be something this over and over. We talk. Well, that was 2000. Was that two? Mr. Joy, was that 2021 or 19? Odell Shema. I think 2021 or 2019. It been a little while. And
Oh,
other
that was
things,
2019, I think.
2019 around that time, and other things still been happening. Every other time we come here to have a conversation on these things here, and I don't know as to whether we are progressing or where we are heading. Now there's a big cloud hangs over this whole thing here. When this whole thing happened, family is not being really brought up to date.
No.
Probably as it should be. Because if that was the case, by this time maybe the mother would be grieving and focusing what's going to be happening, but they say they have not been informed. What would be would there be a long term, would there be a political implications to all of these things that is happening? Or is somebody out there is not aware of what is going on and we are making the wrong judgment? Or who are the handlers? What is lacking?
Let me say this. You know, I see that woman. I know exactly how she's feeling. You know, the Duporo massacre. I had a 1.5-year-old child, my son, the only son that actually I have. He was massacred in that Duporo massacre at that time. Never saw the grave. Even the skeleton never saw it. And today, I still live without guilt, asking myself, what could have I done differently for my son? A year and a half child. What was his crime? So I know exactly people that lost their children in these kind of circumstances. It is a painful thing because the why you will never answer the why. What could I have done differently? Why it happened to me? What could I have done? You will never. So I know how those people feeling who going through this period. But yeah, it's the thing. When we talk, we don't like the government. But who do we turn to? Who do we turn to? Government is there to provide citizens and to provide security for all other citizens, whether you vote for them or not. It is the primary responsibility. That is that contract that the ordinary people sign with those in leadership that will give you leadership, and in return, you manage the resources and provide security for us. But today in Liberia, I mean, if you want to catalog it, you just can't wrap your hand around it. people are being killed. I mean, some of the supporters of government make the argument. They kill people in America all around the world. They kill people. Why y'all want to hold this government? That is not the issue. Crimes happen all over the world. What we see is the ability of that government, of that country, to solve some of the crimes and provide some security for its citizens. So some are not seeing that. Hey, right here in Georgia, just yesterday, a gun dealer, a man, his wife, and grandson were murdered yesterday in Georgia through an armed robbery. They were murdered. Today, the police is on the hunt to find the perpetrator of that crime. But in Liberia, when these things happen, people will have to get in the street sometime, and at the end of it, they just sit down and grieve. Government telling you, you will have to pay for the funeral of your child. Okay, I get that. But what is the justice? To say, look, this is what happened. And these are suspects, these are people who are going to take the court to prosecute them. But instead of that, they leave the people hanging. To say, look, you just go and say, you can't do nothing to us because we have the authority. What we say, nobody can challenge us. Either you take it or you leave it. This is what is happening in the country. And you see that woman today, the passionate plea she's making, she's suffering from depression. She cannot get over it. And look how she portraying the government role in it. If the government was steadfast, treating these cases to a logical conclusion, the citizen would not be angry or pointing finger at the police. But the role in which the police play, that is the government. The citizenry, 90% have lost trust in them, no confidence. So even if they're trying to do some good work, because of the past history, the stigma they have, it always come or meet up with some challenges.
So the bad ones. Okay.
They don't trust them.
Let me bring in the laborer. I intend for us to open the line out here while we point out some of these ills in society, government, communities, different institutions. So we will call our people to see we can make recommendations, whether it will be accepted or what our own thoughts about this whole thing is. It's about Liberia. It's about Liberia, not necessarily. The laborer.
Yeah, Mr. So.
Yeah.
You know, the death of anybody, family member, or anyone else, it's a sad thing. And there's nothing to play around. Okay? You know me. I mean, I have a similar history. I mean, even after 41 years, I catch myself sometime thinking about my own situation, and I will grieve about it all these years. So the grieving process will not stop. The difficult thing here for me with what happened with this lady and what happened during the war, many people during the war, they got their family member killed and they can do something, they get angry. And they say, you know what, I'm going to either join the rebel or join the government side and try to revenge. And there are those who are unable to do that, and they were looking up to somebody, authority, to do something. It's the same situation here. You have government on the ground. The government duly elected. They have all of the security apparatus at their disposal. These people are, I mean, this is not a play government. This is a government, serious government with constitution. And the government is there to protect people, to protect lives and property. And those who violate those type of rules will be brought to justice. We're not saying go and just grab anybody in the street and throw them in jail. Follow the rules. But if the main thing that is very painful is this, you believe in the government, that the government is there to protect you. And if anybody violates your rights, they will come to your aid and prove you wrong or whatever. And this is not the case. You heard this lady. Why was she, the statement she made about Patrick Sulu? And Patrick Sulu, Mr. So, you know where I stand with Patrick Sulu. I've always admired this man. You know me. I mean, from the time when he made our video, the video that came out during the first demonstration before the June 7th demonstration, there was a demonstration where Patrick Sulu told people that were going to the demonstration, police officers that were supposed to go to the demonstration, but they were thinking about, having to carry guns. He said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to the demonstration." He said, "Well, why? With that gun, you're not going to be part of this group." From that point. And I also noticed, I saw Patrick Sulu standing in the rain when they have that heavy downpour in Monrovia, standing in the rain, directing traffic. That's the kinds of Patrick Sulu character that I know, that I admire. But now to come into this mix, and you hear this lady will not get over this thing. Some of us have not gotten over our losses ever since. So this lady, you don't expect her to get it over with. But the sad thing here is this. If the government that you believe in, if the government that's supposed to help, not necessarily to throw money at you, but find justice for where you think you are being unjust, and people come in, the government they can tell you, no, this case you don't stand good chance, but at least do something. But look at this case here, finally, Mr. So, this other one that just happened. For the police spokesman to come out, very first time facing the public after the incident, and you come out and you say there was no foul play here. From what perspective? Liberians are not stupid. Liberians are even those that are even in the countryside are people who follow the law. And so when you do those kinds of misstep, your credibility goes down the drain. And once the people don't have no trust in you and your judgment, you can be as popular as Dr. Weir. You will face the music. And this is a sad thing that's going to most likely going to come, chicken will come home to roost. There's no question asked.
Okay, so let's go to our first caller here. Let's get Liberians in and out reactions. One of our prompt followers and supporter, Mikey, is on the line. Good evening, buddy.
Hey, good evening, Mr. So, and to the panelists. How everybody doing over there?
Oh, well, hanging in there. And let me just say this. This is strictly politics. It has to be in there because the handlers are politicians. They are professionals. And so that way it comes to politics and how you call the decision making. Okay, so let's get your take here. What you heard today. I'm not sure whether we are getting a real talking point from the other side too, and this is where the frustration is. People who also want state power just before you are. We want these people who want to be president, they need to start taking some decisive, preemptive decision. I think it's a matter of mind. They need to do that now. To tell us exactly and come up playing with the Liberian people, start sugarcoating, start doing salad dressing. Those places that needs to be worked on in government. If Alfonso Zienso is elected as president, this police needs a reform, and this is XYZ we're going to be doing. This is what's going to be happening. Let's go to Mikey and go to the next caller. Mikey, what's your thought?
Oh, well, George, I'm sorry to hear that news from you. And, these are things that we continue to go. Massacre in his own country.
Wow, this line going to be crazy here tonight. So, okay, let's just do it as possibly we can.
So I'm very sorry to hear that. And speaking of the issue today on Spoon TV, when I listened to part of that program, I couldn't even complete the program. I felt so bad about it. You see, so.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, Mikey. For those of you on the phone, you're listening, please lower your monitor because we are getting the echo and getting feedback. Thank you, please. Just lower your monitor while you still on the phone to make your comment. After when you hang up, you go back to listen. Thank you so much. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead, Mikey. Uh-oh. Mikey, are you there? Okay, let me go to 609. 609-0846. Are you there? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, go ahead.
How you doing?
Good. Okay, hold on 1 second, Mikey. Are you there now? Yeah, okay, go ahead now.
Yeah, so I was saying, after Pat George came out and said that the police spokesperson said something that was completely out of line when it comes to how he painted the police view on that issue. And then somebody saying that, especially George Wheeler, was talking about not to politicize everything. How can you say that, George? How can you say that? The police spokesperson came out and said clearly that there was no foul play. He had not done no autopsy, no other investigation. He just come out and just said there's no foul play. You think the laboratory was going to trust him? So please, I know you love the CDC, but in this kind of emotional situation, please watch what you say. You know, because like the other like the other panel are saying, when you are not attached to it, you don't understand until your family member gets involved in a situation like this. It's heartbreaking. And then lastly, the issue Pato talked about, this Lpr-Tv issue, the progressive, I don't care how they want to think the whole thing, the progressive advocacy led to where we are today.
Oh no.
They led to the death of Tobo and to see where we are today. We went to refugee camp, we have Zobo all over the place. The whole country is upside down. Nothing Google on the condescend the death of Tobo, and who initiated that, engineered that it was progressive. So I don't care how you turn anything around. This will still be, this will, what is your future?
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, let's go strictly to the point. And this night not going to be a good night for something. I feel bad for you. Let's go to 609 number 0846. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
Good afternoon. My name is Musa from New Jersey.
Welcome to the show. Go ahead. Your point.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say thank you for soliciting the views of Liberians when it comes to this issue. Let me say my sympathy to the family, to the bereaved family that have lost their princess. Well, you see, Mr. To, Mr. Something, you know, it is a problem in Liberia. Here in America, when those things happen, the community, even the neighbors, when they got information, they provide those information to police. So it is hard for police to come up with just anything. In Liberia, the person will know very well, will see what happened, and they will not give us the information. Because they are not protected.
No, hold on. Let us not have a dialogue. When your time comes, you will make your point. Let me speak.
You are not protected. But sometimes it is just advisable to give us the information. Because the only time you can say you are not protected when you see that this thing is involving government. Because everybody will say, when somebody dies, government has a responsibility so that they will keep them. They will bring justice. But how can one get justice? When the man that is investigated don't even know where the investigation, where to start from. If you start, Liberia is not sophisticated.
Okay.
Tell you what, Nima Kante, there's a boy that killed his girlfriend and killed himself. When you could see that place, the first thing the crowd went and killed that place. They have destroyed the evidence scene. Those things happen. Our people need education.
All right, in 30 seconds.
The first thing. So, so we need to start educating our people, not to just put the blame. Yeah, you call for justice. Where would justice go? Government is not going to go on the street and actually just arrest people.
Okay, quickly here, before you go, quickly here. Yeah, before you.
People of interest must come and be investigated.
Yeah.
If the government just even me, you wanted to charge them.
Okay.
Government don't operate, don't carry case of court like they say. It is evidence. It will be open. We are sorry for what is happening. But these things will happen and we'll let our people know.
Thank you so
much for the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me go to, I believe, neighboring state here, 508, number 615-1665 from the Bay State. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where you calling?
Mr. So, how are you, my brother?
Good. Yeah.
Calling you from Worcester.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, my brother. You know, first of all, let me George, the only thing I want to tell you, my brother.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
I think you're going to be burning your time. You can't stop him from his views and his comment. Okay, just go straight to the point, but if you want to chip into that, go ahead.
I just want to tell you something. When CDC is leaving power, you should just go along with CDC.
Oh, Lord. Where am I going?
Let me tell you something, Mr. So. The Liberian people have come to a point that they don't trust even the government. We have something they call pardon, my brother. How many deaths, how many more should die before the government just comes to one conclusion? Look, get in the midst of greed and pain, what this woman is going through. You have unprofessional security. See the movement today. See what they did today. Instead of them de-escalating the entire situation, there was the main people said that the situation worked. And the international community keeps spending a lot of money on these 3 officers that call themselves officers. How many human beings going to die before Pakistan will come to say what how many human beings will die before Mr. So? And every day you have sedition comparing Labrador with America. What's so silly people? What are kind of silly comparison that people can do, my brother?
I think let me make a point too as well.
Yeah, hold on. Let's do it one at a time.
Okay. Every time when you talk about them in Labrador, we say, oh, this thing can happen in America too. It can happen in America too. It happen in America too, but yes, it even said it's been 5 to 10 weeks. The people going to somebody that did it.
Okay, interesting.
People over there. People want to say, oh yeah, we saw this person do this. They are not protected. After 1 or 2 days, you're going to see the same police people that will come to search. Our citizens are living here day and night. They're so seditious because they love this beer so much that they don't want to see this medical.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go to the next caller. Here. All right, thank you for your point, my dear brother. Okay, let me go to this long distance call here. It's, I believe, Australia. 61493. Are you there?
I'm here, Mr. So thank you so much for having me. And my name is George Wida.
Wida. Australia.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. What's your point?
Thank you. I at first, my first comment was thanking for his passionate, plea and what he stated in his deliberation, where we as Liberians, look, we are already traumatized from the war. We need more empathy, in dealing with us, in order to get us, to calm down, Look, I will feel bad for anyone. And myself, I feel very sad when someone, dies mysteriously. Even if somebody dies out of any illness or so, it brings a lot of sadness to people. And I think there is some skills that are required, to be able to mitigate, that stressful occurrence that comes to people, and that feelings of sadness to be alleviated. I think there is some approach that needs to be, or some sort of skill set that is needed. I think that is lacking, in the state security forces or whoever is responsible, dealing with family members in these cases. And I think that skill needs our apparatus. But yes, I see that in Liberia, more often when somebody dies, I found out that you see certain group of people, they are always there ready to go first. They will first go and say they want to sabotage, they will carry some gifts and things, and then we'll try to cajole that family people into turning their back from the process that will really lead to finding a remedy, even though it's long-term or whatever system is put in place, to follow that system into place to make these people will cajole those people, turning away from that process for their own political gain, because what they are there for is to make noise so that people feel unsafe. Like, for instance, there is a list going around on Facebook where almost the whole of Monrovia is unsafe for anyone at night. And I was there, and Mr. So, I think, Mr. So, you saw me. I met on the SKD Boulevard. I just got a shop there that I met you. I was there, and I know the situation that is killing them. However, we need to calm our people as new media, or personnel. We need, and as people, we need to calm our people to make sure that.
So let me ask you, Wida. Hopefully you will have the time, because somebody said one time, say, "Oh, since you're too." We didn't take Zawlo from here. Zawlo get assignment, so his official job perhaps can allow him. Hopefully you have a time here so that you will also be here, or anybody who's willing here. But just hold on, let me make this go to the next caller here quickly, because they've been on hold and you were calling from long distance as well. I gotta go back to the panelists as well. You try hurry and come back, my man. Let me go to this number here, 214 number 9733. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta lower your monitor because we're getting a few feedback. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Before I speak, I just want to ask a simple question to all of you that know about it. When there was 30 persons killed in the church, 20 that are in the hospital, we learned there was suspect arrested and put in jail. What was the response? What was the action of our beloved president? What action did they take for those 50 persons killed? What did they do with those suspects that were arrested?
Wow. What a putting finger in someone's throat here. These are some of the very same talking points we're trying to find answers. What is going on? Who is handling why? And why these sort of cases and many other countless one is going the way they're going.
The person still, according to what we learned, that suspects were arrested. The beloved president of Liberia went and released those arrested.
Okay, hold on. Let me hold you right. Let me
to pay them money.
Yeah, I come in. Hold on.
That is why.
We don't, George. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I just want to make a declaration here. We provide these sort of conversations with the hope to get the real facts. So not necessary comments or tweet by individuals here does not in any way represent the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio. I have now heard that. I haven't seen any evidence that the president walks in the cell or whatever to release, and I just don't want to make that clear. But go ahead, express your freedom of speech.
Where are the
That's a valid question. That's a valid question anyway.
Of course, they should be in jail. They should be in jail.
We don't. No. Hold on. We can't argue that with him. Let him make a point when he finish that way.
Everybody in Liberia know why you're fighting wrong. Let me tell you what happened in Liberia. When one person commits a sin in the family, and that person is not punished, everybody will continue.
Right.
Because Liberians are now willing to speak the truth. Liberians are not willing to stand for the truth. They back in you. Everybody works for the government. They're not in the interest of the government. The interest of their job and the president. That's what happened in Liberia. Pass through. Know what he's doing. But because he wants a job, because he wants to support what's going on, he will say things he don't care what the people like. What the people don't like is wrong or not, you say it.
Okay, my dear brother, hold on 1 second. Don't go, okay? Don't hold on 1 second. Don't go. Before I go back to the panelists, Mr. Wida.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is not going to be a dialogue, but I want the gentleman to stay on there just in case he wants to respond. Do you think this sort of conversation that we are having, who gave rise to this sort of conversation? Is the government or those in charge? And when I say government, I don't necessarily talk about the president, but he's leading the train anyway. But there are people in charge, and if those people are not functioning, then we will hold him responsible. Do you think if the people that are in charge of these investigations and all of these things that are happening, or if the government was handling issues as it should be, will we be sitting down here to be talking these things for people to be counting their people from 2000, from 2017, 18, 19, 21, 22? We are in. Do you think they are handling these cases as it should be?
So thank you. I think the government information arm is a little bit in problem or in trouble. I know that there are some mistakes and there are some things that they need to straighten up, but that does not excuse the fact that our people love bad news. They will go at all lengths.
Who making the bad news?
Bad news. I was in Liberia when that stampede happened at the I think at the stadium. Some stadium they had to stay there, and I think 39% died. I see a gentleman on the stage talking about 50 people died. You see, these are the disparities. These are the things that happen. This guy is saying that Liberia don't say the truth. But now he's 50 people died.
But so 39, 49.
Let me speak on my state. According to what we get, 29 died.
I was thinking this guy has just come in. This guy has just come in.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hold on, guys. Here we do it in order. I'm not going to post my people here as well. Hold on. 1 sec. Hello. Hold on. I control everybody's time here. Nobody get time here. I control the time. So yeah. We get it in order. Let's do it this way. I gotta go back to my guys here. We're not gonna be here. I call out. I give you 1 minute, make a closing argument, and I'm going to give Mr. Widow his own 1 minute to make a closing argument uninterrupted. Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. What I'm trying to say to you guys, if you are a father of the home, anything happen in the home, if you don't stand and speak, you will be blamed. Anything going on in Liberia, you let to hear it, you don't let to hear it, will follow on the president. So he stand for it. Since John Williams got into the jail, all the deaths are going on. How many people are in jail? How many have been arrested? Nothing. When things happen, you don't want to speak, they will arrest you. What is going on? So when people say this, you guys are sitting back there, you're getting you're eating, your children are eating, you're not in the bread, will certify it. My man, if those people are now willing to punish the evil that's going on in Liberia, the evil will never finish.
Thank you so much. Okay.
And John must be fully responsible because he stands for it and he agrees for it. Because he's the head of the nation. He must think, he must take action. Who can tell me how many over 10, 15 cases have been killed in Liberia? How many people are in jail for it? How many people have been investigated? Nothing.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's work within the time frame.
You're sitting down there eating. You're satisfied with your family. People are dying like animals. Even Liberia were in war. Liberia was better than now. We are going backward. Now, Monrovia. You can't go back to Monrovia and put a prayer. I carried 3 times. 3 groups of Nigerians. 3 times in Liberia. 7 people. Investors. We bought 150 acres of land in Liberia to build, but the people are still a prayer because of the evil that's going on in Liberia. And you're sitting there, you don't want to speak. I was there, you were there. You knew it. Even if the star person died in that church, where is the investigation? Who have been arrested? What is going on? You're backing the man because of your friends, because of your relatives. But God in heaven is there to pay everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. These are very, very touching and critical conversation. Okay, thank you so much, my dear brother. Let's take it easy. Okay, we don't make your point, and I'll be going back to my analyst. This is. Are you there? George Widow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
And I just want to thank him. I think he was very passionate and very emotional as well. And look, we appreciate these kind of discussions because these are the only avenues that as a nation we can pursue to gather that courage to be able to move forward. But here's what I want to say. I know George Weah, when he decided to take on this job, he knew the challenges, he knew what was happening. He might not have known everything, but he had some idea what was required. So if anyone wants to blame me for anything, I've got no problem. But what I just think is that we Liberians, we should be able to be courageous enough to say the truth. And when the truth is said, look, no one, this truth, even cross to the ground, like we say, will always rise. But if you try to exaggerate, and then that muddies the water for the truth, because you become, hard to believe. And when people cannot believe you, they cannot empathize with you. So here's the thing. I was in Monrovia, and even where my shop is, when that thing happened, the police came and raided the ghetto that was close to my shop. Because let me tell you, every day I went to work, those guys would come and want to wash my car. Even without even agreeing, they would wash my car, and I have to pay them. I think how much thousand I had to pay them, and they will wash it before I even get to the car to get in. People will finish washing your car, will finish. But they raided all of them because of what happened at that place, and everyone is going to take into prison. And guess what? They did not come back until I left Liberia to come. So I assume they are still in prison. But look, whoever say the president has some interest in Zogo, so he went and freed the Zogo from prison, that person has their own, thinking faculty. And I don't want to stand here to say I'm going to back anybody. They say what they want to say. If that's true, it's left with them. We're all going to say what we know. But as Liberians, I know things are not roses in Liberia. I know that a lot of David Collins, are obtaining that. But we need to, as Liberians, we need to come together to be able to face the truth and not politicize everything.
Who should champion? They're coming together here quickly before I let you go.
What is the truth?
Back here. I don't know. You're still on break here. Who should lead this coming together? Who should lead that?
The government should. The government should.
Are they doing that? Are they doing that?
Hostility, yes. Look, I don't want to say they are not or they are, but what I've already perceived, because I was on the ground, I was there for 2.5 months. So I know that people are very hostile because mostly
is there a reason for them to be okay? We don't leave it here. Come back on the screen here, and then we're going to have this conversation. All right. Thank you so much. Come back on the screen, and then we're going to have it. All right. Gentlemen. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little bit kind of confused here. And this is the same thing we always talk here over and over. To the extent that people are unable to even point out the ill within the system that is support or the system that is so dearly loved, but to give justification and try to give reasons that just not arguable. If we continue to have this sort of behavior, I'm not sure where we are heading as a nation. Government people who support government, I'm not saying people should hate government. That's not the purpose. That's not what citizens are supposed to be doing. But when you are doing it wrong, even when you support that agenda, you need to say it because they can easily listen to you because you are their supporters. And I think that's the perfect way to be honest to people so that they will be able to do the right thing. But if you are unable to even point out the wrong, I don't know, then it's like the individual more than the country. That's what seems to be the case. I'm confused.
Mr. So, don't be confused. I say that when Liberian people love you, they don't see nothing wrong with you. They don't see nothing wrong with you. And this is where we find ourselves. Are you telling me you talk about people are angry, people are hostile? If at all, If you think the people are hostile, you think government officials be walking in the street in Monrovia, they are angry, you think they will not be physically attacking these people, those people? Liberians got away, but I can tell Liberians are very patient-minded people. And these things are happening. And many of us don't see it. We say, oh, what do you want the government to do? But let me say this, so during the earlier days, a funeral home in Monrovia were burying bodies. We talked about it before, now on the platform, other platform. Funeral home director were burying bodies. Nobody knew where the bodies came from. The police were called today, the police had never given a count of where the bodies were coming from.
I believe even Robert, we did have a conversation, right?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah.
This is alarming. That a funeral home will be burying bodies. Nobody knows where the bodies came from. And this was brought to the police attention. Today, nothing. Maybe people want out to catalog some of these things. When Gifty Lamadan was killed, who was the one of our president in his church? He said, I think they said our boyfriend, girlfriend business. You talking about real human beings, people who are working in the government. Is that a statement for a person to utter? He think our boyfriend, girlfriend business. Those are people, children, father, being killed. Today, the government said, hey, investigation continue. What have we heard? So these things, I always say, when they happen, because it don't happen to us, then we'll find excuses. People talk about protection, gathering evidence and things. We saw right there when that body was on Broad Street, those bodies were on Broad Street. And someone came up and said, the police made a mistake. And the director came out, yes. He said, we made a mistake, how we handle the evidence. It happened to me when my uncle was killed, the same thing happened. Police said, oh, they made a mistake, how they handle the evidence. The crime scene, we talk about education at both sides. If the police is involved, continue to engage the citizenry, to educate them. When you see this kind of thing, don't go around just call, we come. No, it's not happening. And people say everything is politics. Yes, it has to be politics because you know what? The government is responsible when someone's life is taken away. Because if we were responsible, then we'll go and just attack people that we feel that we suspect in second act. That's what the law and order is there for. So when something happens to somebody formally, we expect the government to play that role, that make sure the victim get redressed and those who are accused go through the process. But if the government is not doing any of these things, and then people start feeling that the government is on the side of those who are perpetrating this act against the citizenry, this is why people start getting angry, disgruntled, and don't want to trust the system. But I just want to leave on a note. You know, yeah, we all can put our partisan cap on, but I want to tell people, never you, for anybody who family was killed, allegedly killed, if you don't have anything to say, just remain quiet. But say people goes, certain people come around to use it as a political, to gain political favor, to cajole the people. How many people can name in Liberia that was killed, that some political party, some opposition leader went there and cajoled the people and to gain favor? How many persons you can name in Monrovia? It is sad to speak like that on a public platform.
Okay,
let Mr. Toh come in.
Okay, let me see who this person is sending here so they cancel with sanctions. 980 number, are you there? Hello?
So,
yeah, good evening. Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Good evening, Mr. So, this is Victor Obi. I'm calling you from Charlotte. I just want to contribute a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my contribution to this topic, I listened to the mother's phone phone this evening, and it was kind of pathetic listening to them. But I want to take another trend because Mr. Wheeler is defending his side. For me, I don't like to defend my side. I like to beat them there. When we look at what happened in America here during the George Floyd incident, we saw how the Democrat took over the George Floyd case. They seized the moment and they ran with it. This was one of the reasons why they had an opportunity that they had in the 2019 election in America here. In Liberia, when you listen to the brothers, there is no one single person of the high ups now going to those people to say, I'm sorry for what has happened. Not to Joseph Walker, who was to be president, who was vice president for 12 years, not the Alexander Cummings, who wants to be president for the Republic of Liberia, not the Benena Yure or the Yomi Kanga or the Cassell. I mean, Mr. Gombo is a lawyer family, but you can go ahead and meet all the politicians in our country. All they want to do is election time, and then they pretend like they love the people and they're ready to work for the people. Sometimes we beat on the government for not doing the right thing, but at the end of the day, the politicians need to be helping the citizens to push the government people to try to do the right thing. They're not even doing it. So it's like the people don't even know where to run. This is why you see Mr. Wheeler is protecting or defending the government. So I don't blame Mr. Wheeler for defending the government or for defending his side. It is because those who are supposed to speak on behalf of the people, they are not even doing it. They are not even getting out there. How many permanent person did you see on the street today?
Exactly.
When Princess Mother got out there was none. Only the local people were out there. So that's how our people behave. They
Thank
don't
you so
care for
much.
these people who they won't vote for until they won't vote for them. If that was the law of contesting this year, we were being out there today. But because the House is not contesting, he was not out there. He never went to the cabinet. Yes, he spoke on his podcast, but did he go to the public to sympathize with him and ascertain what was going on, whether the leaders would talk to the justice minister so that he can intervene? Did he do that? He never did it. The young Hikaga, who was a woman, did he do it? Or when somebody wrote a book about the president's wife, she wrote a whole Facebook page. She spoke about it. So these are the people who are always want to beat on because they want to replace Mr. Weir, who is not doing the right thing. But it seems that they will do worse than what Mr. Weir is doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me go to the Liberal here. I think that's our last caller for the night. We are already running out of time. The Liberal.
Yes, Mr. So.
You know, this one here is kind of like I say, four people move, and so it's good to get an inside the thoughts of what people who also taking time to keep time with us here. But you listen to the last caller, you listen to our friend and brother. People always come in defense of their people, and they're unable to point out to say. But there was one thing that he agreed on, that they must find people who will be specialized to handle these things. They are all component of this here. What is going through your head?
Well, Mr. So, sometimes it's very difficult to divorce politics from these kinds of things because once you insert government intervention into anything, it then becomes whether you want it or not, it becomes politics and it becomes political. Now, Mr. So, let's just give it. Let me just give it to you as it is, as I see it. To be honest with you, I think this government, if so far they've been lucky and they've been blessed because the opposition themselves are not quite together. As a result, the government have a free hand. They run with anything, they say anything and do anything. There's no counter reaction except for the citizenry. Those who supposed to speak for the citizen themselves, which is supposed to be hopefully now, that's supposed to be the opposition political party, they are not involved. They're all into each other, wasting each other time and wasting our time as well. Look, Mr. So, the government, and once again, as I stated earlier, the CDC level government, they had and they love to put their foot in their mouth. Now, the many Liberians are quite aware that Liberia is a challenge country. There's so many things. You've been there, Mr. So. You've been there, Mr. Joyce. You know how challenging things are over there. Nobody have to remind you. But if you have somebody that's supposed to be in charge, the challenges are there. But you're hoping that the reason why these people were put in place to help to alleviate some of the challenges on our people. If the challenges are not being resolved, I'm not saying that it would be able to resolve it totally. However, the communication process to continue to inform the citizenry that yes, the challenges are here. We're dealing with it. And these are some of the things we're doing. For example, in the death that most of the you saw how passionate the speaker, one of the speakers was speaking earlier. How much I mean, you can tell from his voice that he really, and many of us do truly love Liberia. But to see that country, that with all of these things, people fought war just so that we'll do things better, and we're still going backward, according to some people. Then it's very disheartening for these people to even participate or even come here and be able to express themselves freely, because the emotional aspect of it is very much uncontrollable. And these people just come out here and they will say it, which is for them. That's how they feel, and they have the right to it. Mr. So, for this government, up to this time, at this point, to not have a point person that will continue to remind the Liberian people how critical things are in Liberia, that's supposed to continue to remind Liberians how challenging things are. Johnson Kochi tried here one time, and that's the last time you heard him. You heard anybody from our government to come out publicly to state how challenging things are in Liberia. You need to remind the Liberian people things are difficult. In the process, when you do that, you also say, then you come out to say these are some of the things we're doing to make sure these challenges are brought to a minimum. But you don't say nothing. You say nothing, but what you want to do is to praise, to say government doing this, government doing that. But then people know if you come out that the government have surplus and the child have not eaten in 2-3 days, do you expect the parent to believe you? If you come out to say that the police department, we are here to save lives, we are here to protect you, and people die in the street and no resolution, do you expect people to come and believe you? Mr. So there are so many things I can sit down here and start naming and compelling and bringing the cases. And I'm not even a lawyer, but I can assure you that I can prosecute this government, take them to court, and I'm not even being a lawyer, but a common sense would defeat them massively. Mr. So, let me just say this here. This government has failed miserably. The president himself, very popular. The president go to these different countries, asking for help, pleading for help. But those who are around him have failed him miserably. In fact, they are saying.
So what can he do, Mr. Toll? Not to
So what
interrupt.
he needs to do is to pivot. You can't love somebody.
This one, I feel the man.
Here we go again. You guys getting ready. Two conservatives are getting ready.
Now you're having a good conversation. You are about to
Please,
dilute it.
when you guys were talking for over an hour, I didn't say nothing. My liberal voice was silent. I didn't say nothing. Please put a hook on your conservative view for now. Let a liberal express himself freely, if you don't mind. You can't kick me out of this show because this is a platform that it allows intellectual. So let me try my best. Now, Mr. So, this government, the president, as I was saying, very popular. The president, I know this because I'm involved in some other stuff that I know of. The president have gone places and asked foreigners, donors, to donate. And based on his popularity and based on the process of able to convince the foreign donors, they're bringing in funds. But those who are supposed to implement the process of this president, They're not. And it seemed to me that this president, I could be wrong, but that from what I'm seeing so far, that this president seemed to be loving more these people more than himself and more than his career, political career. And this is not good for our country. You can't have people who are inept. And you said these are the faces and the face of this government. If you do that, you will pay politically, but not in Liberia. What do you do in Liberia during the election? Bring a cup of rice and chicken soup, and you think people will elect you. Those days are far being spent. They're going behind us, Mr. So. This president is so popular. If you put this president against any of these so-called politicians, want to be this, that, whatever they want to call themselves, if you put them one-on-one, mano-mano, popularity, Dr. Weah will flog them massively. However, if the politician himself, the opposition, if they are able to wrap these so-called supporters of Dr. Weah, you just heard how people were taking our good friend Weah to clean her here tonight, and Weah is not even close to the president. So how much more about those who are close to the president, those who continue to foment these inept behavior around the president? This is what's going to come back to hurt him. So let's go back to this whole issue about death and what have you. Listen to this lady tonight about Patrice Sulu. The government will not bury the woman is crying. Look at the kind of statement she made. You know how many people that listen to Spoon today that went away with that kinds of bad feeling? Look how many, when you replay it, still people are still re-echoing that. This is something that's going to get stuck to the people's mind. How do you now try to disabuse the Liberian people that will have this kinds of feeling? What do? You as a government, you have to be truthful. Let the people know that things are difficult in this country. And here are some of the things we're doing. But the face of the government so far, people who are supposed to do something about the man, honorable McGill came here and said he was going to give Eula 400,000. But when on his way back, when he landed in Liberia, no lie at it. Jesus Christ. You're gonna come get these people there in another inept organization. You're gonna get them 400,000. You got to Morea, no light. And then you got angry. Why will you even come and do those kinds of stuff? Where is the integrity of these people? And these are educated people. And believe me, if I may say so, these are people that also love the country.
Okay, so
but they are not doing that. This is why the liberal, Mr. So and Mr. Central Right, come election, you guys going to crown me to be one of the most important voices on LPR, because I will make you guys proud.
What are you talking about?
Let me explain myself. You don't have to ask me a question, Mr. So. This is not some sort of a courthouse.
Look yourself, all the good things, and then
I
you
am
want
not
to
on
come.
a witness stand. The liberal is speaking. When both of you were talking here, the liberal didn't ask you a question. Please, let me handle myself. Now, the reason I'm making this point, Mr. So, is this. I'm going to take this government, challenge this government. Challenge this government. This is the government that came to power through the front door. They didn't come to power through the back door. And the fact that this government have allowed people to seriously express themselves, to criticize them publicly. This is the winning process. However, that process is going to be challenged because even the simple good thing that this government is doing, the bar will trump that. The bad thing that this government are unable to resolve will trump these good things that the government is doing, and I will bring them out. Mr. So, you're going to enjoy the liberal. I say so. Your hair ain't my mouth, my hair ain't your mouth. Abraku, nothing you and the Central Right will do to me. Nothing. You hear about me? So, let's go ahead, take it away.
All the good things you said, we pay keen attention, and you just water everything down the hill. All right, whatever it is. So, this thing today, it kind of like, it just killed my day, but we have a commitment. We're going to be wrapping up here soon. So let me ask this question. with all of these things that are ongoing. Everything here, people see it. You saw the second to the last caller. I'm not sure whether these people, how they call it, TV, DSL, whatever, TV or cable, some of them get loose internet they can watch. They should be watching some of these major cable news network, or maybe perhaps America, since we say Liberia is a small America, that in time of crisis, they kind of rule the leader. If they can't go, if there's no way to have these trainings because of the resources are not there, just to have internet and interview watching, maybe CNN and some of these high profile, these something channels, when things happen, the role the leaders can play, things they can do. You see, sometimes Trump, in as much he was a cuckoo head president, sometimes when things happen, depending on the nature of the situation, they take phone call. They go and see those family. When things happen, you see how the police conduct immediate investigation or press briefing, because part of that is meant to stabilize, to bring down the tension, the anxiety of the people, their perception. Because the way you will present the case, the way you will handle the case, the way you will put it out there, based on the limited information that you even have before the real investigation can go, the start up will give the people reassurance to say, yes, this is something going to be. We saw what happened to New York. The police commissioner, they took the stage and said, no, we are not saying, we are not determining that this is a terrorism. But we are just in the embryonic stage, or we are just in the first 1 hour of it. You have to be concise and clear when you are committing. And I think communication is one of the deficiencies people have, not even leaders alone, ordinary people. So it's like they're saying something and they want the thing that maybe some kind of witch doctor to read their mind. This thing that they're saying, I assume this is what George is saying. When you decide to put something out in the public domain, it has to be crystal clear, not in parable, not in special tone, not in special language. You don't have to use the big words in where you yourself will find it difficult to pronounce. It must be, that's the essence of communication, simple, plain, and well understood. It's not happening. You heard the last person here. Who has gone to these people then? They want to leave. Gentlemen, we have this night here, I'm kind of like, I'm completely off, to be honest. Let's make our argument our last final, and we'll wrap up for the rest of the night.
I agree with the last call, Victor, I think. But, I said a couple of videos in my state, 3 farmers were murdered on Friday. Man, his wife, and his grandson. The governor of Georgia contributed $10,000 reward to whatever they are raising. Personally, donated $10,000 reward. But what I'm trying to say is, political leaders from all sides have not even come to raise voice on this issue. But I just wanted to say something that person mentioned. This thing happened in Maserati. Sir Joseph and Darros Dillon should be the one who to leave the charge, to find out what happened. Darros Dillon and Sir Joseph. That is the county. The last time I saw Dixon Sibo, he said he was going to be with the family everywhere to go. Today, I don't know whether he was in that demonstration. I didn't see him. But, and one of the things, you talk about communication, since the autopsy, we have not heard anything from the Justice Ministry. These are the things. The people should be informed every step of the way.
I don't know.
How long it's going to take to get back to them after the autopsy was performed? All these people should be briefed. You don't have to call press conference. You can go there, invite the people, and tell them, hey, this is how far we are going, and give a press release to the public. Nothing you don't see. It happened, they just remain quiet, like to say, hell with these people. We can do anything we want to do to them. Nobody can tell anything. This is what happening. You know, every time I hear this man talking about the president, this man say every day he get all the news from Liberia, what happened in the country. He knows everything. So why it is that some people want to give him a pass? He see if someone is not performing. He say all the news in the morning. One time he made a joke. Someone called and said, "Oh, the person went the lawyer." He said, "But I knew last night already. People called me already, told me." So this man know everything that is going in the country. And you see that this man cannot see or cannot hear that this area, there's a problem there, and he cannot call up and say, "Hey, my man, door up. I am too much noise from the area." But I don't know why some of you men like Sashington want to give him a pass. The president, but the people not happy. No, man, see the people. Everything they put in the street. And he can't call somebody and say, "You know what happened? If this cannot be settled, then he got to go." Because what? The president is good. Then that's what I want to say. If you want to rule, then if you want to be a reverend, take the Bible and go. Don't be a president. Don't be a minister if you want to hold the Bible, because then you will not do the people's job.
Okay.
So this is the problem. As we close tonight, I want to say to the people who have lost their family and loved ones, it is difficult for anybody. I don't care how much word we say here, we not bring this thing to a closure. But what we expect the government to do, there are some cases government will not solve all around the world. Some murder cases government will not solve. We will get that. But there are other cases that people assume, people think the government got the capacity to solve those cases. Let it do it. So people can say, "You know what happened here? They were not able to solve the one, but they did this one here." But it's not like that. It's like the only language people understand is noise in the street. If you don't jump in the street, they will not talk about your issue. And which is just sad. Thank you, Mr. So.
The liberal.
Yes. I hope you give me. I hope you give me equal time.
All that time you spoke. So what is equal time? All that time you talk.
I hope you give me equal time, Mr. So. I hope you give me equal time. I mean, this is. I'm just telling you. I'm not here for kumbaya. Look, Mr. Joyce Central Right. Let me just tell you this. In fact, let me be ridiculous and say you are one of those who push Dr. Weir in the hands of those who put him in a bubble. Because when Dr. Weir started his process of coming in, many of you uneducated people, that man, even including myself, that man cannot do the job. This guy is unable. And these people were saying, "Come to Papa." Now, these are the people that he depends on. So why I'm saying that he should be able to look around, I'm also being realistic to say these are the people he knows, because many of us push him away. That he was able.
Is that just
Central Right?
No, hold on.
Mr. Moderator,
No,
Mr. Moderator,
you know what?
Mr. Moderator,
Mr. Joyce.
Mr. Moderator, the liberal is on the floor.
No, hold on. Can we let this guy? I'm having a headache this evening. I don't want to deal with
Mr. Moderator, you're having a headache. I understand that that's an excuse. That should not be an excuse for the Central Right to interrupt the liberal. You can't do that. I mean, this is supposed to be a platform of free thinkers, and now you're coming in trying to squeeze my free thinking to bamboozle me into getting out of this platform. It's not going to happen. So
Mr.
please, will you please let me talk?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So. Wow. Mr. Central Right, as I was saying. So the president now, these are his friends. Because when he needed many of you, the true Liberians believe in good Liberians. Why is he running away? Mr. So? Why is he running away? Why is Mr. George running away? Don't tell me I'm speaking, then his internet decide to act up. Please bring him back on. Yeah, here we go. So I'm glad you're back because liberal don't talk behind people back. But anyhow, let me say this. Many of you, when Dr. We are needed, you people, the educated people. You say, oh, man, not educated. Why wasting my time with football player for? The football player, he was popular. You people knew this. He was going to win the election. Instead of you to come around and put your arms around him and say, whatever you do, we will help you. You put everyone will push him away. These were the friends he had. These were the people that he trusted. Now they are here leading together, and they decided they will fall together. So why now we want him to separate himself from those who brought him this far? Let us be realistic.
Another Prince Johnson of LPR.
Let me, Mr. So, please. You've let the man spoke. He spoke for almost 10 minutes. I didn't say anything. My hand was in my mouth. So please, let me finish. Now, the point here, Mr. Central Right, I'm not giving the president a pass. The president is popular. You know that. The point that I'm making, Mr. Central Right, I'm speaking. The point that I'm making here is this. Those who are around the president, you would think at this point, they will try to see how best to have this situation resolved. Many of these things we're talking, these are not just happening just today, they've been going on. So why can't they learn from their past mistake and bring them out so that they will do something good? That's the point that I'm making. And finally, let me just say this here, Mr. So those brothers and sisters that died, their family members, they're not coming back. They're not coming back. And the sad thing and the most painful part of it is this. You have a government that they trusted with state power, but yet they are unable to protect the citizenry. And not only that, if these kinds of things happen, they do not even come in to pretend to do something good. They come in and rub salt into the wound of this bereaved and grieving family. This is unacceptable. And many of these government officials, they themselves have grieved one time or another. Honorable McGill, mother died last year. And see how much grieving process he was going through. I'm not even too sure if he has even over that. And to have this lady saying this on Spoon, and up to this point, you would think Honorable McGill would come, because Spoon, many Liberians watch the Spoon. You would think Honorable McGill would come back to Spoon and say, please give us airtime and try to clean these things up and say, this is not what this president is about. If this thing happened, we're very sorry. But this lady, we all have mothers. We all have daughters. We all have sisters. And we will do our best to clean this, to make sure this thing don't happen anymore. This is how leaders are supposed to be. But we have not heard anything from these people. Mr. So, I once again want to sympathize with all of the bereaved and the grieving family. We're here on Liberian Public Radio. We bring these things to light and not to ridicule the government or not to shift blame on the government, but to bring these things to light, to know that Liberia is challenged. And if the government is unable to produce and unable to announce that to the people, we will do our best to let them know that Liberia is challenged. The government is your government. Some challenges that are going on, and we will do our best to bring them to light from time to time. Mr. So, your hey fame, my hey fame, your ablaku, nothing you can do, nothing. I say so.
Another Prince Johnson of LPR. One day he flips on people any minute, any second. Very unpredictable. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for the time, and of course, our listeners, viewers. For those that call in, your participation to your tweet, you should go back and review these things here. You will help us to do what we are doing. And believe me or not, people listen. People listen. There are some silent listeners that go back here. But our country is challenged. And so we have to pray and see. And this is a quiet manifestation. Somebody say These people who want to take state power, it's time for them to show responsibility that they are able to lead. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. Time has caught up with us here this evening. We got to leave it here for this event, and hopefully we're going to be back here to do what we are doing. Thank you so much.
Do me, I do you. When you hold me, I hold you.
Okay, let's see.
Cousin Photo and Video Production is a cousins team who provide photo and video coverage for various occasions. We are weekend freelancers who have been in the event service industry since 2006. We provide all digital services using digital SLR cameras, 3CCD, HDV, and 4K camcorders. Our style in photography is journalistic and straightforward. We document the event as it unfolds, capturing the most important moments of your life. We produce a video in which all the vows are clearly heard. And at the hotel and reception hall, we may interview all the bridal party, including some guests, each getting to say something personal to the bride and groom on their wedding video. We produce videos that blend the traditional with contemporary, remaining faithful to the classics while incorporating modern trends. We work unobtrusively, recording what comes naturally, to portray the true emotions of the moment.
I'm making the people them feel in my heat. Na, na, na. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Na, na, na. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
D12
when you
on
do
the
me, I
mix.
do you. When you hold me, I hold you.
Okay, well, folks, let's see here. Okay, well, folks, that's how we're going to bring the curtain down here this evening. We want to thank you so much for your time, for the conversation. To Amen Eduardo, thank you. Hopefully, you will find time to spend the evening with us here so we can have these. These are very critical and crucial conversations that requires every Liberians, regardless of their political attachment, affiliation, to participate in these critical conversations. But we do have a challenge. There are people who, at no point, at no cause, whatever it takes them to be, they are unable to just tell their side when it's not right. And that is just unfair to the country, not just to them or their political parties. It's unfair to the country because these things, they affect the country. Because sooner or later they take state power. If they can't even tell their folks that is support, this one here, we kick the can down the road. Somebody needs to take responsibility. Somebody needs to stabilize this thing here. But we're always in defense. We always, time to rescue people, they will never go there to rescue. They rescue these people who deliberately, on purpose, decide to hurt other people. That is unfair. Folks, thank you so much and have a pleasant evening. Today, that program was just so heavy for me. Bye-bye.
My God can heal any sickness. My God can heal anybody. Yeah. My God can do any miracle. Yeah. My God can do. My God can do any miracle. I will lift him up. My God can do any miracle.